So Steven Crowder, in an edition of his show, Louder with Crowder, recently called Bernie Sanders a communist. Okay, that's kind of misleading. What they did was they played a little game, in which they said, guess the person, Bernie Sanders or some communist leader. Now, basically they read quotes from Bernie Sanders, and they read quotes from people like Mao, Stalin, Hitler. I don't think they did a single Marx quote, which is odd. So yeah, this was an attempt to prove that Bernie Sanders was a communist, because look at how similar his quotes are to these other people. Now, one of the things they did in the video is they edited and tampered with a lot of the quotes. There are even parts of the video where they admit that. In the end, one of the Bernie Sanders quotes, he uses the term bourgeoisie, which is a Marxist term. Jared actually admits he changed the term bourgeoisie from billionaire class. Again, in order to make Bernie Sanders look more like a communist than he actually is, and they edit with all the quotes. They even said, yeah, we changed some of the quotes so they'd be more contemporary. So how can we trust you? Well, this is something they do, and it's something that Kyle Kulinski talks about all the time. It's something that we've talked about in the past. How the Overton window in America is inherently right-wing. How there is actually very little room for leftist dialogue, because in most countries, Bernie Sanders would be considered a centrist. He would be considered a moderate. He would be considered, oh, yeah, that's kind of obvious. But in America, he's considered a communist. He's, not a social democrat, not even a communist. This is also another trick they do, by the way. Because, when somebody says, oh, I mean socialism like Denmark, they say that's not real socialism. That's not, even more close to socialism. And then, when you say, oh, well, I'm a socialist, like, those are like, oh, ha, Venezuela. I don't mean like that. Oh, well, then you're not a socialist. Oh, but, wait, what? It's this trick they do constantly. Because they ignore things like social democracy. Anyway, that's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.